You're listening to Beauty and Beyond Playbook. I'm your host, Mitsy Hernandez. Hello, everyone. Before we get to today's episode, which is so fucking good, I think I'm going to listen to this episode by myself almost every fucking day to remind me of the energy I had when I created this episode. But before we get to this wonderful episode, I do want to let you know that I am giving away a free 30-day class for anyone who wants to grow their clientele in January. It is going to run from December 30th to, I believe, January 28th. If you are listening to this before December 30th, please feel free to DM me on Instagram at Mitsy Hernandez, MITSYHERNANDEZZ, and I will give you the link to join. It is completely free. It is simply for you to walk with me as I grow my lash and brow clientele and as I begin to get ready for an employee. You'll be able to pick my brain about anything business. There's a group chat, there's a course, there's videos. It's going to be amazing. Like I stated, if you want it, please feel free to DM me. I will send you the link. Now let's get back to the show. Welcome back to Beauty and Beyond Playbook. If this is your first time, welcome. We talk all things trust here, how to radically trust yourself and how to get clients to trust you so that you always have clients. Let's talk about the way I worked with being delusional so then you can understand how I'm teaching it to you. So when I first got introduced to law of attraction and all of this metaphysical and spiritual woo-woo stuff, they would talk about there is nothing you cannot do, be, or have, right? And they spoke about it in a way that my brain was resonating with it as if it was going to come out of fucking thin air. It was just going to happen out of thin air. I was just going to be walking one day and somebody was going to realize that I'm fucking amazing. And they're going to be like, come here, you're amazing. Here's $1 million. Go do and be whatever the fuck you want to be, right? That's how I was taking it. And I think that a lot of people take it that way because, again, I have been mentoring for 3-4 years and I have stumbled across people that are like, oh, I believe that this is going to happen to me, but they're not putting in any work. So I've been there, girly. If that's just you, if you can relate to what the fuck I'm saying, I've been there with you. You're not wrong. You're not bad. You're just not understanding the lesson the same way I wasn't understanding the lesson. So anyway, I literally thought, let's be delusional because it's going to randomly pop out of thin air and it's going to work, right? I would imagine meeting this very rich man because around this time, I was deeply entrenched in believing that a rich man was going to save my life, which again, that's another podcast episode that I can do because baby girl, a man's not coming to save you. Anyway, so I believed that I was just going to meet this very rich man and he was going to whisk me away and he was going to help me with my business. At no point did I think I was going to be a stay-at-home wife. That just has never been my vibe. But I definitely thought oh, I'm going to meet this man that's going to invest so much money into my business. And to be fair, I wasn't so delusional because I was meeting and dating and going out with very wealthy men. So also it was kind of happening, And I just thought that some men was going to invest a shit ton of money into my business and it was just going to blow up and I was going to have multiple locations with employees and all this shit. Well, that didn't happen, obviously, as you know. And so then I began to become bitter around being delusional. I started being why am I delusional? It never happens. What's the point? I don't want to believe in this outer world type of thing. I don't want to believe in this because I'm going to be disappointed. It's not working. And recently, it finally fucking clicked for me what it means to be delusional. Now, mind you, I had all the pieces already in my head, but they just weren't fitting together. It was just I had a piece here, a piece there, a piece somewhere else. And then finally, I want to say about a month ago, all the pieces just randomly clicked together. And now I get it in a way that I want to explain it to you. Now, if I ever evolve to get it even better, I will teach it to you then. But for right now, this is the way that I'm getting it. Actually, let me back it up. Before I teach it, I have to give you some more backstory. Okay. As you know, the brain is simply a tool. So the brain that you have, think about it as a computer, right? When you have a computer is just regular computer. It's just sitting there. There's nothing in it. It's blank. people have to go in and input a software that has been coded to do certain things, right? Your brain is that computer. And as you were growing up, people were putting in software. As you were having experiences, software was being developed in it, right? Think of like ChatGPT, think of AI, where like it's coded, but it also uses experiences that it's experiencing as it's doing what it was coded to do to learn more and grow, right? That is exactly how your brain is. That's why it's called artificial intelligence, because that is what our brain does. That's the intelligent part of our brain. So, for example, let's say that your parents constantly said, you have to work hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. You're going to have a hard time because money doesn't grow on trees and we just don't have a lot of money. So that was the software that got developed into your brain, right? So you begin to believe, oh, well, the possibility of me being rich or being a millionaire or not struggling with money is slim to none, right? Because you're a kid, you don't know any better, and your parents or your caregivers or whoever the fuck is taking care of you, they're gods in your eyes, right? So you just believe whatever they say. And then you watch your mom cry over bills. And then you watch your electricity get cut off and you're cold in the winter months. So that happening is experiences that is updating that software. So it's ingraining into you even more. Like, I cannot make money. This will be my way of living. Then you are probably only hanging out and surrounding yourself with people that are having experiences very similar to you. That's just the way life works. So then you're gathering more information to put into your little software saying, see, I knew it. This is what my life is going to be. Now, mind you, all of this shit is happening subconsciously. Sometimes we consciously do it, but all of it is happening subconsciously, right? Oh my God. I just have it. I have another example. So recently, if your feed looks anything like my feed, recently I saw a clip. I don't listen to their podcast and I definitely am not like balls deep into what they got going on. But I saw a clip of Summer Walker and Sexy Red talking. And they were saying about, I don't know exactly what they were talking about, but they were saying something along the lines of like, if y'all been together, I thought it was 7 years or something like that, and he's only cheated twice, like, take that man back. And Summer Walker was like, oh, no, friend, like, we're not supposed to talk like that. But you could tell she was being sarcastic. And Sexy Red says, why? All men cheat. And Summer Walker says, and by the way, I'm paraphrasing. This is not verbatim. I don't remember, and I'm not going to pull up the clip because I don't care enough. But this is another version of what I'm trying to tell you. So Summer Walker says, exactly, they all cheat. But there's some girls who believe that there's men out there that don't cheat. Now, me personally, I'm not into poly relationships, polyamorous. I'm not into having like multiple partners. I'm also not into open relationships. So my delusional thinking is going to be, although I have witnessed a lot of men cheating, although I know every girl has dealt with cheating in some shape, way, or form, or at least every girl I know, although I have been cheated on, although a lot of people I know have been cheated on, I know that this world holds all possibilities. So because this world holds all possibilities, I believe that if and when I settle down, and I say if because I'm exploring if I even want to do that. If and when I settle down, it will be with a partner who will not cheat on me. Now, because the world is vast, could that partner cheat on me? Oh, I'm not going to put it past a human to do human things. But I am not going into a relationship, a long-term partnership, thinking all men cheat. And so therefore, I must learn how to deal with cheating. That's just not my standard. However, for them, that is what their brain has spit out. And there's no point in arguing them down because everyone views the world vastly different based on their individual experiences and their individual software. So I'm not saying they're wrong. What I'm saying is they have experienced cheating. They have been told by other people, right? They're telling themselves right then and there to each other, every man cheats, every man cheats. So their software is saying there is no way that a man will never cheat on me or a long-term partner will not cheat on me. So let me be okay with the cheating and let me learn how to deal with that, right? So that is what their software is doing. So it's very similar to the whole thing I was saying about money. The people you hang around affect you a lot. So if you want to be delusional and you want to create a life that is so vastly different from your life and everyone's life around you, you might want to be careful with who you hang around. You might want to be careful with the beliefs and the softwares that the people around you have, right? So when I first went on this journey, like I stated, because I first got introduced to it via like law of attraction and stuff, I was an anomaly in my family. I would talk to my family and I would say certain things and they're like, well, that's not true. And I was like, no, it is true. I'm going to hang on to this and I'm going to hang on to this because it is true. And part of my delusion at the beginning of finding the law of attraction truly helped me grow my lash business to a 6-figure lash business. 100% it did, right? I'm not saying that the way I was doing delusion originally was wrong. What I'm saying is I was missing a piece, which is the piece I'm about to show you, or the piece I'm about to teach you. So you want to be careful who you hang around. You want to be careful what media you take in. You want to protect your brain as much as possible because there is something always uploading software into it. Right? So if you're listening to podcasts like this, if you're listening to self-development podcasts, if you read self-development books, if you join the trust journey and you're surrounded by women who are working hard to create a reality that they currently don't live in, you are going to believe, oh, anything is possible. Your software is going to update to anything is possible. I can do, be, or have anything I want. Correct? Now, if you continue to surround yourself around people that are only living life a certain way, are only struggling financially, are only struggling with their business, and it just becomes this echo chamber, or you're surrounding yourself with people that always believe men are going to cheat, or believe that there's no such thing as being able to achieve great wealth, or whatever it is that you're going for. Or like, for example, one of them is like, I remember one time my mom said to me, our family is just fat. And that's her belief. She truly believes that genetically we are just all fat. She's like, my mother is fat, I'm fat, you're fat, we're all just going to be fat. I don't believe that. I truly believe that it's my habits that lead to the body that I have. While I love my body, I love food, and so I am okay with my body. I know that if I wanted to change my body, if I wanted to lose weight, I would just have to change my habits and my belief system, and it would happen. I currently am happy, so I am okay with the way I look. But that was her software talking to her, right? So she is putting herself in a certain way because all her brain knows is my mother is fat, I'm fat, my kids are fat, so then this must mean blank, right? Okay, so now we're going to talk about like the actual lesson that I'm trying to teach you, being delusional. The mind can only make predictions from the past and from what it's seeing, from all the software that is currently being put into this little computer, right? Again, think of your brain as a computer. It can only spit out based on what it's been put in. It can only spit out based on the stuff that has been put in it, right? So the mind can only make a new house out of old bricks. So when you are struggling financially, your mind can only think of solutions that have worked in the past or have seen other people use in the past. That's it. Your mind is not going to vastly create some out of this world thinking. And when I say your mind, I mean your thoughts. When you are aligned, when you are using radical self-trust, you tap into your intuition, which is vastly more wise than your mind. Okay? When I talk about the brain, when I talk about the mind, I am literally talking about the thoughts that pop up in your head all the fucking time. The thoughts that make you happy or the thoughts that make you sad. That. Intuition is peace, is calmness. It's different. That will give you wonderful ideas. That will give you shit you don't even know existed. Could even exist, could even be downloaded onto you. Okay? But your mind, your regular just human monkey brain, that is what it's going to do. All the solutions that it is seeking are past solutions, right? For example, I'll use myself. When I am needing more money than I'm currently making, my mind says, you should go back to lashing full time. That's what my mind says. Is that what I want? When I sit and talk to myself and tap into my intuition and my radical self-trust, is that what I want? No, that's not what I want. So my mind is only telling me that because in the past it said, hey, look, you used to make $16,000 a month. Lashing. Don't you want to go back to that? Because it doesn't know another way. Because I haven't made $60,000 a month mentoring, it doesn't know that I can do it. So then it's telling me, let's use past evidence to try to dictate the future. And this is where the delusional part comes in. I have to use my radical self-trust and my delusion in my intuition and radical self-trust to tell my mind to quiet it down and say, no, baby, I know that's what you're used to, but that's not what we're going to do, because we're not living the past over and over and over and over. We're going to move towards a new future. And in that, you use skills. Obviously, like, it's very easy to just tell your brain, like, no, baby, and it's not going to listen. Trust me. It's not, because your nervous system is going, your thoughts are getting activated, your belief system is getting activated, your trauma body is getting activated, which I haven't talked about. But essentially, your trauma body is pain that you've experienced, emotional pain, obviously, that you've experienced in the past that you never processed. All of that is getting activated. So it's not easy to tell your brain, like, oh, no, baby, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this instead. That's when skills that I teach inside of the trust journey comes into play. How to regulate your nervous system, how to breathe, how to feel your feelings, how to calm yourself down, how to ground yourself to this moment, right? Like all of the skills that you need to know that you can use in that moment. And then that's when your delusion is going to have to kick in high gear, because your brain is only going to spit out thoughts from the past. But it is up to you, when you are walking in your purpose, in your radical self-trust, when you are using your skills day in and day out, moment to moment, because this is something that you're doing moment to moment. You cannot let yourself fall asleep. Okay, when you fall asleep, that's when the brain kicks in, and it's going to continue to give you the same life over and over and over. And year after year after year, you're like, I don't understand why I'm not moving forward. You might move forward a little bit, but you're not where you want to be. And it's because delusion is not coming into play, right? It's just creating a new house out of old bricks. I fucking love that saying. I got that saying from a book. So delusion kicks in, and you see the vision. You see the vision past the old stuff. You see, I don't have to live like my parents. I don't have to live like my neighbors. I don't have to live like my friends. And I'll talk about who you surround yourself with in another podcast episode. But it's very important for you to have those communities. That's why I created the Trust Journey. That community, not just for you, but for me, to see everyone striving for a better life, because a better life is readily available to you, to me, to every fucking body. But you have to use delusion, because right now your brain, all it's doing is it's trying to build a new house out of old bricks, right? Why do you keep running sales? Because in the past, your brain said, oh my gosh, I'm too expensive, run a sale, because that's when I get clients. And so you go back to stuff you know you don't even want to do. Why do you keep going back to your ex, even though you know it's not going to work? Because you're lonely, and your brain cannot even fathom that there's someone out there that's going to treat you better and you're going to love much more. Do you know how many times I have heard people say, I'm never going to love anyone again? Like my clients, like my lash clients or my brow clients. So many times. And then when they finally meet someone else and they're getting married, I always like to remind them, do you remember when you said this? Look, anything is possible because you achieved it through delusion. You chose to trust again. You chose to put yourself out there again. Life is about delusion. And I don't mean delusion where you're like, oh, one day, because I remember I explained this concept to a man once. No shade to men. I'm not saying men are stupid. Men are very fucking smart. I do not think men are stupid. But I remember I explained this to a man once, one very specific man. I'm only talking about this very specific man. And he said, well, if that's the case, can I make myself fly? Because I don't like driving. I want to be able to get where I need to go fast as fuck. Okay, sir. We are still operating within the laws of nature. The fuck? Like, we still operate in a system of nature. We can't just fucking spawn wings. The fuck? Like, come on now. Right? So we're still operating within the laws of nature. Like, it's not like you're gonna fucking learn, I don't know, you're gonna breathe underwater for hours upon hours without any type of device because you are so delusional about it. Of course not. It's not what I'm saying. We still have laws of nature like gravity and shit. Duh. Right? And obviously gravity is more for the flying than it is for the breathing. But anyway, so you have to be delusional. And I'm calling it delusion because it is something that your brain cannot understand that can truly happen for you. And for a long time, like I stated, I would be so delusional. But I would be so delusional in a way that I wouldn't even act to move forward with those goals. Like I would just sit at home and meditate and be like, it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But then I wouldn't move towards that, right? And so in my delusion, I was truly delusional, meaning I was living in la la land. You want to be delusional, but you want to also operate in this reality where work still matters. A lot of it is delusion. A lot of it is energetic. A lot of it is radical self-trust. A lot of it is confidence. But a lot of it is action, because we still live in this tangible world. We're still humans experiencing a human experience. We're still experiencing being on earth. I'm experiencing being Mitsy, being in this body, being Caden's mother, being Magdalena's daughter, being your Candy's sister. Does that make sense? But delusion is essentially anything that you have not experienced yet. Believe that you can experience it and push fucking forward, because you can do, be, or have anything. I fucking know that. Take that from me. As someone who is undocumented, who came to this country at 4 years old, who was told all you'll ever be is a worker, and it's better than living in Mexico where you don't have a true future, where we're going to be poor all the time. And I literally told myself that's all I can be. Even though I knew I had my brain, I was told that that's all I could be, because my parents couldn't afford college, because I was undocumented and I couldn't apply for stuff to help me go to college. That's what I thought. And then when I had a kid, I'm like, this is all I'll ever be for me and my kid. And when I truly applied delusion, I live a wonderful life. And I always say this to everyone. I live a very middle class life. I am by no means rich, but I live a wonderful life by myself, without relying on a man, without doing things I don't want to do, without being in the wrong relationship, or without just having to be in something toxic. And anytime that I feel like I need more money, or anytime that a new desire enters my brain, now that it's finally clicked for me, now that I am walking in radical self-trust, I go make it happen out of fucking thin air. I have not worked for anyone else in 10 fucking years. I have never seen that happen in my family, in the friend group I once had. All of their parents were workers. Not that there's anything wrong with being a worker, but none of them owned businesses. None of them had the freedom that I now have. Even my parents, they were workers, and they told me, you'll just be a worker and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a worker. It's a better life here in America than it is in Mexico. It's okay. And I believe that. And then when I became a business owner and I did it fucking full time and I took a leap of faith, I remember my father said to me, I don't know why you're doing that. What is wrong with being a worker? Because he didn't know any better. And now I do it by myself full time. I'm just a girl. I'm just a regular fucking girl. And if I can do it, being a single mom, being undocumented, if you are a U.S. citizen, if you don't have kids, if you're just a single girl, even if you're not married, even if you have a boyfriend, even if you live with them, whatever, but you're not married, you don't have kids, and you're a U.S. citizen, baby girl, I want you to comprehend that anything is fucking possible for you. Because if I can do it, so can you. So, be delusional, my friend. Be delusional. Because it worked for me, and I'm going to continue using this skill, and I'm going to continue working towards something big that I've never experienced, that my son has never seen, so that he can take everything I've done in my life and take it even fucking further. Because his delusion will be even bigger, because he's witnessed his mom do things he's never seen. Because my nephew will have that. Because y'all will have that. Because the more delusional I am, the more y'all know y'all can do it. And when y'all see me accomplish things, you can accomplish things. And when you do that, your little sister, your little cousin, your community, it grows. I always talk about this. When one person wins, everybody fucking wins. Okay? I hope this episode helped you and inspired you to be delusional. I will talk to you in the next podcast episode.